Hi there, viewer. This is a quick video I wanted to do, and please mind my voice. I am a little sick, and this is basically what I'm saying is the reason why a video didn't come out last week. And yeah, from now on, if you're watching this, I'm planning on having weekly videos every Monday if I can, at least once a week at the minimum. So I guess in a way you could say this is a channel update or something. Right now I do plan on releasing a new video every single week, so that's cool, and hopefully I won't be sick for much longer. I'm coming off of the cold, so thankfully no problems there. Anyways, so today I wanted to make a quick video for today. I still have an Undertale video I'm making, and I'm not going to pretend like it's a very long video or something that should have taken me forever. I just had to replay through the entire game again. So it took me quite a while to get all the footage that I needed, and like I said, I was sick, and just looking at screens was kind of stressful on the eyes, so it's just been kind of a very difficult time with this whole Undertale stuff. But the Undertale video is coming, and I've got a lot of new ideas for videos in the future. So anyways, so yeah, today I wanted to talk about an idea that has been bouncing around in my head for a while to do on a video. Just sort of a concept. It's nothing particularly related to any one video game, but more just video games as a concept, sort of. Like, I want you to do me a favor and imagine what it would be like if you had never played a video game ever. Like, you didn't know what a video game was. Like, and if somehow you don't know what a video game is, which I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you do know that it's basically you sit in front of a screen and you press buttons, and that is the physical action of what you are doing when you're playing a video game to the world around you, like relative to other people. That is what people see. And this just sort of goes out to the idea that I grew up on video games, so maybe this is important context I should provide. I grew up on video games, and I essentially started playing them like right out of the fucking right out of it, like right out into the world. I got a game controller. There we go, playing Mortal Kombat at like age 2 or 3. It's like, even I don't know how, like, I was watching video games at a very young age, like younger than young, like just so young, very baby late like level. And so yeah, I used to, video games have been a part of my life since the very beginning for me. And thinking about, I got this thought one day where I was like, what if I had never seen a video game, even like ever, like what if I had never even touched it? What would I think of them? Would I have this entirely different outlook on them? And that got me thinking, okay, well, what do people see now? Like, what do old people who think that video games cause all this terrible shit, what do they see? What do they see when they look at video games? And that's what got me thinking, like, okay, they think that we're just sitting down, picking up some device, looking at a screen, and pressing the buttons on said device, and there's not a whole lot beyond that. And of course they're wrong, of course that's absolutely incorrect. We as people who play video games, if you do play video games, that there is so much more depth to the video games than that. Like, video games are intricate, they're in depth, they're essentially the creators, the game creators means to sort of challenge you. They're challenges in theory, and just base level concept, they are challenges to be overcome. And I know not a lot of games these days, like some games nowadays don't have failure states, so it's like, is this a game? It's like, yeah, as long as it's interactive, to some extent, it's kind of a game, but maybe a failure state implies video, like game. The word game, I think, implies failure state. I'm not too sure on that, I'm not gonna fact check for this. This is a ramble. But anyways, so yeah, so it got me thinking as to what causes people to get so paranoid over video games being like some scourge of existence. Like the old hardcore conservative people old men that just are jaded and cynical towards things that give people joy. You know, oh yeah, it's brainwashing our kids. It's telling them, you know, it's brainwashing them. Okay, fair enough. You know, the concept that video games can brainwash, I get it. I get why people would think that way. Let me put it this way. I don't think that's actually a thing. You know, I don't think games are actually able to brainwash you. They can tell you certain ways to feel about certain things, but at the end of the day, you chose to do this. You know, you chose to go through this experience, and you know, I mean, maybe those who are not very intellectually savvy, you know, maybe fall into the trap of sort of believing the game's isms, but those people, either one, might be insane, or two, either are too young or just aren't very intelligent, so they can't necessarily understand that what they're experiencing isn't like factual. You know, this isn't, video games are a contextless void outside of reality. It's just a fucking, like I said, it's just a controller being pressed at the end of the day. But in our heads, video games are so much more, because they provide like an alternate reality sort of, and like I can't even envision what the fuck, like for example, say you're playing Skyrim or something with like crazy good HD mods, or Elder Scrolls Online, like the gameplay footage that's probably on screen. Say you're playing one of these games and someone walks in your room who's never even fucking seen a video game before, and they just see you sitting in a chair, like eyes like locked on the screen, or you turn to them and you're like, hey, because you know you're a sociable person. But regardless, your eyes are like locked on the screen and you're basically just watching. You know, you're just sitting there watching something and pressing buttons, and they're like, what are you doing? And then you're like, here, I'm playing Skyrim, or I'm playing Elder Scrolls, and they're like, what? And you point to the screen, and they're just like, what the fuck is this? You know, they're like, what is this? Like, is this, I mean, if they know what a movie is this a movie? What is this? And if you tried to explain what the fucking Elder Scrolls Online was, you'd just be like, it's a video game. You know, like, you'd have to go so in depth. It'd just be an entirely, like, it's something that I'd make a video on. It's that in depth. It's something that you can't just describe a solitary game if no one's ever seen a video game. You have to like start at the basics. You have to be like, okay, well, it's an interactive piece of content created by other humans to entertain us, and they would look at you and they'd just be like, okay, you know, like, what the hell? What the fuck is this? And you know, the way you describe it, of course, would essentially affect their impression of it, you know, because people don't, if you don't have any biased opinion whatsoever towards, like, favor or disfavoring something, and you're told about something in a very positive light where you don't really mention a lot of negatives, you're going to probably get that person to at least be on board with video games, like, conceptually. And, you know, like, I guess I'm using myself as a theoretical example here. If someone came into my room, and asked me what video games are, I'd just be like, let me explain. And I just lay it down for them. I'd be like, hey, yeah, you know, it's basically where you press the buttons and the cool stuff happens. And no, I'd be like, it's like an experience. Video games are an experience. And a lot of like all these older guys who's never really even tried playing a game, or if they have, they just didn't get it and they got frustrated and they were like, it's for dumb retards, this is for dumbasses. It's like, no, you're not trying. You're not even trying to understand what the fuck the point of this game is. You don't even get that it's an experience. You don't understand why the artist made it. Artists, quotes, like, you know, like there's tons of artists on games nowadays, which isn't, whatever, that's an entirely different topic. But yeah, like, it's just insane. It's an entirely different, like, sort of perception that people could have towards video games, especially if they were just told, no, they're just time wasters. All they do is just waste your time. It's like, I guess, but to me, I don't like to think of it as, oh, I'm wasting my time. I like to think of it as, like, I'm spending my time in this world, I'm going on this adventure, and it's like, why? It's like, why do you have to look at it through this negative lens of like, oh, it's just a waste of time? Like, nothing is a waste of time if you're doing it. You're doing it for a reason. People choose to do things with their time for a reason, and I think video games, I guess I'm sharing my opinion, is video games are the greatest way to waste, like one of the greatest ways to waste time, quote unquote, waste time. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's you learn the values of the like other people, and I know that like systematically and like how the world like runs itself, like society isn't necessarily benefiting from video games necessarily. And someone who's from a mildly conservative mindset might look at this and really not like it because of that. It's not contributing to the big corporation society. It's like, I mean, they are, they do contribute to capitalism. It just only through their purchase, not their consumption, like not the actual media consumption by the person who purchased it. That's just a waste of everyone's time according to this mindset. Like, oh, well, he's just sitting away wasting the time where you could be working or you could be fucking doing something productive. And it's like, no, this is productive in a different way. This is productive in a creative way because you're getting story ideas, or you're seeing a story, or you're seeing characters, or you're seeing art in general that can influence and inspire, or can piss off, and it can, you can hate it. Video games aren't always good, obviously. I know I don't tend to talk about bad games on this channel, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. But no, seriously though, it's an interesting little conundrum, I think, and I don't know if any of this is going to make any sense. I'm going to make a quick spoiler warning at the end. Anyways, so yeah, spoiler warning, what the fuck am I talking about? So yeah, like, video games are looked at in all these different lenses, basically, and I feel the purpose of this video, to be honest, is essentially to highlight that concept. I feel like people don't really pay attention to this a lot nowadays. They're just sort of like, yeah, I'm just happy playing video games, and it's like, yeah, fuck these old dudes, fuck these people who don't get games. It's like, no. You have to understand why they don't get games. That you have to understand that these people value their reality so much that anything that detracts from it, like anything that takes you out of reality is considered bad. And to me, it's like, well, if it's to escape this reality, what's wrong with that? Like, what's the human condition? We don't live long enough, in my opinion, to really justify not entertaining ourselves, in my opinion. I think entertainment is literally human salvation. It's exactly what we needed. We created it because it was a problem. It's a problem to have to deal with the fact that we're all going to die one day and all these terrible truisms. And it's like, what do video games have to provide for that? And it's like, oh, well, video games provide comfort. They're there to make you like live an entire experience by like through someone or something else. And it's like, they make you feel the good games anyway make you feel the feelings that, I'm sorry if you can hear that vibration. Good games essentially make you feel things. They make you feel things that you wouldn't have otherwise. And like, all I can say is I know from experience, and that like video games have that power, and to really just take you into their world and keep you there for a while. And for me, that's what makes video games so special. And I think that these people we have to keep in mind, because it's still not completely like who are we to say that they are wrong, other than that, oh, well, we understand video games, you just don't. It's like, fair enough, you know, that's fair. They don't understand it. But they might understand something, like they might have a thought process about the world that is different than ours, and I think that instead of being vitriolic, we need to acknowledge this and just accept it. You know, we need to accept that there is going to be different opinions. Not to say, I guess I'm jumping onto the conclusion that people don't accept different opinions, but it's just what I see on my social media feed and sort of on the internet is a lot of people who like to bitch about things, and it's like, yeah, well, I don't know. This is kind of an obscure topic, I know, and I know that this video in concept is very different for my style. I don't normally do unscripted content on this channel to this degree or alone, and yeah, I think that is all I have to say on the matter. If you understood any of that, and if any of what I was saying makes sense to you, thank you. You know, thank you for let me know in the comments. Seriously, I do want to like start a discussion. And if you're one of my friends and you watch this, share this, because you know that helps me. Please be a friend. Help me. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with my bullshit and my sort of observationally bullshit. I don't know. And thanks for putting up with nothing. Fuck it. Fuck this. Everyone's gonna think I'm insane.